Very good afternoon from the sports desk. Now, Sascoc's leadership is holding a special general meeting aimed at amending their constitution to meet the requirements of the Zulman Inquiry. Our reporter Zulman Inquiry is still at that meeting and she joins us live now. Now, Hloni, welcome. Now, what was the major takeaway from today's meeting?
Good afternoon. So we haven't been given access to the closed session of this special general meeting. We had access to the open forum earlier today, about 15 or 20 minutes of the acting president Barry Hendricks' address, and he was very clear about what the purpose of today's meeting was. He told everyone to stick to what is on the paper, do not digress. You know why we are here, and the issue that they are here for is those amendments to the Sascoc constitution. And I think the reason why he was so emphatic in saying that is because Sascoc is trying to get money from the National Lotteries Commission and from the Ministry of Sport and support from the Ministry of Sport with 6 months to go to the Tokyo Olympic Games and about 7 months to go to the Paralympic Games, and they need that funding. And what was unequivocally clear from the Minister of Sport, Natim Teta, last year at Sascoc's AGM was that they need to implement those recommendations of the Zulman Inquiry, and one of those is around constitutional matters. So that is why they are very emphatic on that. So we are waiting for the outcomes of it, and then we'll find out what was decided on.
Any particular reasons, Hloni, you guys were not allowed? I mean, you would imagine that there'd be some kind of transparency from Sascoc with them trying to clean up their image, but any reason why you guys were not allowed into that meeting?
Well, it's very typical of Sascoc to not allow media into their closed sessions. I mean, even with their AGM that happened a few weeks ago, at the end of last year, they do allow us to hear the president's address, but the actual discussions themselves, we are not privy to those. I can tell you that the little that I've heard and the little bit that we had access to earlier, there is some tension at Sascoc. They try very hard to point an image of an organization that is coming right, that is happy, and they've said that several times that we are a happy organization, even as late as last week when we were speaking to them. But it's clear that there are still some contentious issues around Sascoc in general, and even specifically around this inquiry. It's something that's come up even at the previous AGM, the 2018 one as well. You know, there were whisperings of unhappiness around that as well. So there are some issues, and I imagine obviously with issues that are as tense as these things do get, that they wouldn't want media to be in there so that they are able to speak out and voice out whatever issues they have without, I suppose, worrying about what the media says. I mean, it is something that the former President Gideon Sam used to speak a lot on, about the relationship with the media and how the media used to address things. And even this morning, we heard Barry Hendricks talking about a leak to the media that he was asked about yesterday.
And just a quick one, Hloni, from what you've been following where Sascoc is concerned, maybe perhaps over the last 18 months or so, do we look like we're in shape for the upcoming Olympics?
Miranda, please can you repeat your question?
I was just saying, from your following of Sascoc over the last while with the capitulation of, the leadership and now what they're trying to resuscitate there at the organization, do we seem like we're in shape for the upcoming Olympics?
Well, they are very, yesterday they had that 6 months to the Olympics countdown celebration or event to mark things, and they are very clear that things are on board for the Olympic Games. And last week when we spoke to them as well, they did say that everything is on board and that they are planning, they are talking about funding. It's a big thing for them. So this is part of the process to get that funding. At the end of March, they have early elections. Again, they're trying to iron out all those issues so that they can access that funding. But they are clear that they will send about 228 athletes as it stands at the moment to the Olympic Games, and I think it is about 35 to the Paralympic Games.
That is our reporter Zulman Inquiry.